So excited to have you on here, Soph, today. It is our vibration station on Thursdays, and we come on here, we have a beautiful guest speaker, someone who's in our world that we are working closely with, or that we're immersed with, or that we're experiencing life with. And today we have the beautiful Soph, who's going to share her energy and her wisdom and her insights with you ever so briefly. We're definitely going to need to have Soph back on, because she has this energy that's very unique, very individual, very special, and magical is the way that I always describe her. She's definitely like a unicorn on this planet. So we're very excited to have you here, Soph, and sharing you with everyone. Now, just to share a bit about Soph and what and who she is, she's a passionate breathwork facilitator. She's a holistic health coach. She does a lot with meditation and mindfulness. She's a master practitioner. She's done Reiki, timeline therapist. So there's a lot of, I guess, descriptions that we can put as Soph, but simply her energy is unique, and she does so much with the healing and the help of people on this planet, and has traveled all over the planet. So Soph, a big welcome. We're very honored to have you here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for calling me a unicorn. I have one really dear friend who calls me a German unicorn, and I love it. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally a German unicorn.
Yes, German unicorn. I love it. Yeah, Soph, if you have noticed, Soph definitely has an accent, and she's got this beautiful voice that just lights up a room wherever it's heard. And so
it's your smile. It's like you have this like such goddess, beautiful energy that I admire. I just innate this beautiful feminine, like the feminine energy. So have always thought that as soon as I met you.
Mm-hmm. Can you see that I'm blushing?
Oh, you're so amazing. So
stop it, guys. No, keep going.
So just to introduce yourself a little bit, some people definitely might know who you are, and a lot of people might not know who you are and where you're located in this beautiful part of the world. So who are you, babe? Like, where have you sort of come from in terms of your journey and some of your story, and how it's all come about, and where are you located, to let everyone know, and we'll go from there and just get some beautiful insights and wisdom from you.
Amazing. Yes, so I'm based just outside of Byron Bay, which is definitely one of my most favorite places in the whole world. I feel really, really blessed to be living in this magical paradise. As I mentioned, I'm originally from Germany, and I actually left Germany initially when I was 17. So I haven't really, I've spent about half of my life in Germany and the other half traveling and living in different places around the world, including the States, South America, Asia, and then Australia is definitely home. Where to start?
There's a lot. Really... Soph is like, there's sort of like a Pandora box. Like, she's been through a lot from just what we've even briefly chatted about with Soph. She's traveled and done some magical things. She's told me about some amazing things that you can do overseas with big cats, and we've totally vibed out and jammed with that. She's a very incredible human. So maybe, Soph, like, why, even if you wanted to touch on, like, why did you leave Germany, or why did you come over here, or start with that?
Yeah, beautiful. So initially, the first sort of big trip out of Germany was when I was 17. I moved to the States to do a student exchange, and actually to learn English and to play tennis over there. Growing up, I didn't really have a very good relationship to either of my parents. It was very, very strained really on both sides. And I moved out when I was 14.
Wow.
And, obviously still went to school, but worked, and took care of myself and been very independent at a very young age. And there was a big aspect of me that actually just wanted to get away from Germany and get away from, some of the dynamics of my childhood trauma. Yeah. And so that's when my first big adventure started. And after living in the States and, feeling more comfortable and confident speaking English, I figured, until I've really figured out what I want to do with my life, there's no point in, just hanging out in Germany and working away, doing random things. if I can do that literally anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
And so an ex-partner of mine, when I was much younger, he had been to Australia, and so that kind of sparked this idea. And so after living in the States for a year and a half, I went back to Germany for 1 year to sort of graduate there. And then I decided, actually, there's no point me being here. I want to go adventuring. I want to go exploring. And that's when I first came to Australia, which is now 12 years ago, nearly. Super crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I don't really have a relationship with my dad still. He hasn't wanted a relationship with me, which is one of the main big reasons why I started doing the work that I'm doing.
Wow.
My mom and I now actually have a better relationship than we ever had, which is really beautiful. But yeah, it was really, I think an aspect why it was so easy for me to move away and live overseas was because I didn't really have that strong bond to my family as such.
Yeah.
I was always very close to my grandmas. But yeah, so moved over here to explore, to travel, to see the world, and to really figure out for myself what I actually want to do with my life. Yeah. I didn't really feel it made any sense to just study for the sake of it, like many people I knew did. And I didn't want to, I felt like that was like a waste of time, just to study something for, because society asks you to study, especially in Germany, there's a lot of pressure that unless you have, at least one degree, it's like, who are you?
Literally.
And so I decided to come over here, and I was initially going to stay 6 months. And 12 years ago. And and then I got really, I was very blessed. My ex-partner, who I was with for 6 years, really beautiful soul, is a psychologist, and he really helped me understand a lot of my childhood trauma, and see that there was a lot of, actually severe trauma and, some sexual abuse and a lot of things that happened that really weren't quite right. And to see how that's affected my life and my relationships. And I became really curious, and really wanted to learn more and really wanted to understand and wanted to break free from the habitual patterns from my childhood and teenage years and break free from the hooks of the past that were holding me back and affecting my relationship. So I was very blessed to have 6 years with Chris and learned so much. We ended up traveling through Asia for 3 years, where I started diving really deep into mindfulness and meditation and connected to Buddhism. I actually got to go to a 4-day teaching of the Dalai Lama. It was like amazing. So incredible. In one moment, he was like a meter away from me, and the lady next to me started crying and broke down. And I was like, oh my God, he's right there. Wow. Really beautiful. And so that was, really big aspect of my journey. And I was teaching English in China, and I had in one school 700 students, and my classes would be 50 to 55 students normally. And I was like, okay, I want to be the best version of myself every moment and really be present with every child as much as I can. And even if I have a class where, some of the kids piss me off, I want to walk out of there and have an instant reset. So I don't take any of it forth with me into the next class. And so that's when I really dove deep into meditation and mindfulness too, and different practices to really help me, be the best version of myself. So I can really, inspire these children to learn. It was teaching English, to learn English and to have, beautiful opportunities in life. If they know English, it's a huge difference. And so that was a big aspect of my journey, really finding myself. And then I started discovering different practices like breathwork. I'm really passionate about breathwork. And I can very confidently say that the 3 things that changed my life the most are breathwork, meditation, and plant medicines. So I'm really fortunate to have been practicing these beautiful tools and been able to travel and experience and learn and evolve. And I'm really emphasizing that I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, and definitely not claiming that.
Yeah.
Far from it.
Yeah.
Many more layers to peel.
Yes, so true.
And it's this beautiful journey, I feel like we're all here to learn from one another, to grow together, to expand together, and to really be beautiful mirrors for one another.
Yeah.
And one of the really, there's a few things that have really pushed me to start doing the deep inner work. One, when I was much younger, I was, still sometimes am, but super reactive, like a firecracker. Just really a lot of trauma patterns that would play out in my life, and I was actually just getting tired of myself, of just not being in control. And I've definitely come a long way. There are times when I'm still a crazy firecracker.
It's needed. There's places like that's needed still. Yeah.
And that's the daily intention, to be able to respond always to what life throws at us and not so much react. And that was a really big push for me initially. And then I had to realize that was a really big, like rude awakening for me, that I actually didn't know what it meant to love myself.
Yes.
I grew up with a really, really critical father and very critical grandfather. And, was told constantly that whatever I was doing was never good enough. Yeah. And that became like, I started internalizing that. And so I realized when I was traveling in South America, the first time I sat with ayahuasca, that, wow, I actually don't know what it means to love myself. People will tell you, all you need to do is love yourself. And I'd be like, whatever, I love myself. And then I had this real understanding, whoa, Sophie, you actually don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You're so far from even accepting yourself. And I was really a big bully more than anything. And the way I spoke to myself, I would have never even dared to talk to anyone else, nor would I have let anyone else talk like that to me. And so that was really powerful, and then it became my big mission to really learn to be my own best friend and to actually really deeply love myself. And that's been the most beautiful journey, and after years, I can confidently say, I truly love myself, and I'm really kind to myself, and I'm really compassionate with myself, and I cut myself slack, and I really take care of myself, and that's really my mission, to help people to come to that place. It's very, very, really, really sad how many people are really struggling with self-judgment, criticism, and really, really actually not loving themselves, or even understanding what that actually means, what that is, this act of actively loving ourselves, and consciously choosing ourselves every day, filling our cup, so we can be the best versions of ourselves. And then if there's a day or two where we don't show up as the best versions of ourselves, we say, it's okay. I'm going to do the very best I can every day. And sometimes we take 10 steps forward and 5 back, or 10 back, So that's been, a little bit about my journey and how I've come to where I am now. And I really feel like I've started peeling many, many, many layers of my trauma and have a really deep understanding of what's happened. And still, after many years, really actively working through my trauma for 12 years, still seeing that that wound is still there, but now I'm approaching it and viewing it from a whole different lens, with so much love, with so much compassion and so much kindness. And that's basically what I'm here to do, to help people.
Oh, you are just so magical. So like just the visuals of you, speaking into your story and really taking us all on this beautiful journey of how you come to be the woman that you are today, and how much that really ripples out into your community and who you work with. And just, for all of us listening to this, or for you guys watching the replay, #replay or #online with us now, and letting that just land with you. Like, there's so many golden nuggets you just said, Soph, and there's so many avenues we could totally, have many chats with you about around mindfulness in itself and meditation in itself, and even traveling and having the freedom lifestyle or going on experiences to gain deeper understanding and awareness of ourselves and peeling back the layers, or even plant medicines. Like, it would be amazing to speak into those things and what's happening in that sort of world. So there's so many avenues, and I was just like, I'm letting it all land. Like, so it's just amazing.
Reach out if you want to know more.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly why we have you here.
Your energy, so, and I know that those who are watching and listening can feel it, you know, it just radiates. And so it's important to have like-minded people like yourself who can help facilitate and go to the depths with them. And so they've got people like you in their life who can just really support them and guide them. And that's why we love this community too, because we get to add so many incredible people like yourself, where you just hands up, like you'll be there wanting to add value, you know, supporting people all the way, because you're doing that for yourself as well. So just everything you touched on was really beautiful. And I know you know how much you've done for me and Kristen and for those in our space too. And I'm just very honored and very grateful that, you know, I've attracted and that it's aligned, that you guys have come in our path, and that, you know, we're building this beautiful community together. So it's just incredible, the work we all get to do. Yeah.
It's all meant to be. And all I am is a mirror reflection of the beautiful work that you two goddesses are doing. Yeah, it's been such an honor to journey with you too. And, you know, I could say all of those things about you, the beautiful energy you bring to the spaces, your joy, your openness to really dive really deep, to do the work, to really discover who we truly are and be the best versions of ourselves for ourselves and the beautiful people in our lives, right?
Yeah, 100%, babe. What is it, Sophie, that you've always, you know, before, I'd love for you to share your offerings and, you know, what everything that you do with the community and down south and travel around. Before we do that, what is it, like, what sort of change is it that you want to see in the world, or what long-term vision or mission do you just feel that you're here for, the change that you want to see? You know, speak into that. Like, what's the big thing?
Yeah, totally. A huge vision, you know, my prayer is for all of humanity to awaken, you know, to come home to their hearts, to remember who we truly are, opening our minds, remembering what really matters in life, you know, for every being to have the freedom, for one, of course, to have food, drinking water, a beautiful home, but also not just that, which is, you know, everyone has to have those things, but the freedom to really do the things and pursue what we're most passionate about, you know, and that we're supporting each other on that journey to really find what that is for ourselves. And that, like that, the more we are able to deeply love ourselves, every single being on the planet, therefore also better take care of our beautiful sacred earth mother, you know, and all of our brothers and sisters, whether that's the four-legged ones, the winged ones, you know how much I love my snake friends, the slithery ones, you know, and to really create a really, really bright future for the generations to come. Because the healing that we're doing for ourselves is not just for ourselves, but it is for all of our relations and all the generations to come, right? And that is my vision, that we take care of one another, that we live in a way that we're supporting each other, not in competition, but in supporting in community. You know, I think that many people got that really wrong. It's not that we're all in competition. We can all shine really bright next to one another. We all got individual gifts. We're all beautiful, bright stars that have incredible things to offer to the world. And I really pray that we can all see that within ourselves, how incredibly beautiful every single one of us is, you know, and we're all individual, we're all different, we all got something magical to share, and we all teachers for one another. And my vision is to really, for all of us to remember, you know, the ancient ways, to really commute with this beautiful sacred planet, to deeply respect her, to restore the ecosystems that have been damaged, you know, and see all of the forests, the oceans, all of the whole planet flourishing, and the animals that live there, you know, as well as ourselves, and living in a place of harmony and deep respect, you know, for one another. That's really my vision. And that we keep coming together like what you're doing, you know, creating beautiful community of like-minded souls. And, you know, one of my mindfulness mentors says, no one wants a Buddhist, everyone wants a Buddha. You know, it's like It's not so much preaching, but actually just if we do our own inner work and we just shine really bright, because the moment you start loving yourself, that creates a kind of energy around you that is contagious. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to be yourself authentically. And that ripples out into the world. You know, it's not so much about telling our parents, you're doing this and you're doing this and you could be doing this differently, you know. That's not going to go down very well. Where if we actually just, you know, showing up in the best way, they're going to be like, wow, something's changed. You know, what's happening to you? What are you doing? And they're going to get curious, and it's going to run off on them, and eventually, you know. And my prayer is as well that we all really remember and know deep down in our hearts how powerful we all are, powerful creators of our reality, you know, and that we can really, every single one of us, create change in this world with every little action we take consciously, and that we really consciously can and are, if we want, if we have this awareness, create our reality and the life of our dreams. There's no limits. So that's my prayer.
Oh, it's so amazing.
And I'm working on myself, you know. It's like I said, I'm doing my best to show up the best I can every day, you know, but sometimes, you know, it's not 100%, you know, and that's okay. You know, all we can do is the very best of our ability, and to keep, you know, showing up and knowing that we are perfect as we are, you know. Really important too is there's nothing wrong with anybody. No one needs fixing. It's just about remembering, you know, the goodness that is within all of us. And, you know, maybe a little nudge here and a little nudge there, so we can break free from the conditioning of, you know, society, limiting beliefs of our parents, maybe the trauma we've experienced, you know, because it's a good chance every single person that's going to listen to this has experienced some trauma to a degree.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and that's what I mostly do, working one-on-one in the space of releasing trauma, moving through trauma, moving beyond trauma, with various forms of therapy, you know, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, NLP, and I'm working really closely together with an incredible holistic doctor down here, who's created a form of therapy which is called soul line therapy. Really, really powerful process to help move trauma through the body, you know, and really break free. Then what else? I work, you know, doing breathwork sound journeys. We have weekly community classes at our house, and I do one-on-one sessions. I work with the beautiful teacher plant Cacao, Mama Cacao and Goddess Ish Cacao. Really love working with this beautiful plant that opens our hearts. So it can open our heart in such beautiful ways. And what else am I doing? I'm a holistic health coach. So really about, you know, aligning body, mind, and spirit, and coming to a place of alignment, remembering who we are. And then I work very closely together with an incredible psychologist, and we run retreats together. And we're also about to offer a beautiful women's container that starts at the end of August. It's going to be 6 weeks. It's called Flowering of the Wild Goddess. So it's going to be, you know, diving deep into practices of embodiment, remembering who we are, breaking free from the shit that doesn't serve us, really stepping into our power, finding our gifts. And we're going to be journeying with the beautiful teacher plant, Blue Lotus. And at the end of the journey, we're going to have a one-night retreat. And we're going to be journeying with other beautiful, juicy plants. And what else? I'm working a lot together with my partner. We're doing beautiful co-created events. He's an incredible musician. So I'm really, really blessed to, you know, I get to enjoy his, you know, beautiful flutes and guitar and shanga and, you know, all of the magical things that he's got. Some of the instruments I don't even know what they're called. You know, and we also I really love co-creating. You know, I think there's so much beauty in that, learning from each other, bringing each other's gifts together. And there's something I've been creating for a while now. It's called A Day of Soul Nourishing Bliss, which is like a day festival. And we've got a big one coming up on the 9th of December down here with some beautiful musicians, live music, song circles, ecstatic dance with a really incredible DJ.
9th of December.
Cacao, you know, a whole day of juiciness.
Yes, I freaking love it.
Yeah, so that's, you know, mindfulness as well. I sometimes work with children, depending on what aligns. For doing, my love, I'm just in a Zoom meeting. No, not now. I'll be there in a few minutes.
You just let him know he's on next week. You know, it's your time to shine tonight.
He's like, Sophie.
So he's doing amazing sweat lodges, and they're about to, you know, set up the sweat lodges. I think he needs something. I don't know. It's okay. He can wait for a minute.
Yeah.
I love it.
And yeah, so I'm really, really grateful to have the ability to share this beautiful work that I'm deeply passionate about, that has actually really changed my life, you know, and it really comes from the very bottom of my heart. And I'm just deeply grateful, you know, for the people that find me, that find their way to me. A lot of the work here happens by word of mouth recommendation, you know, and it's really funny. So I'm just like, so how did you find out about me? And this lady recently said, well, I went to acupuncture. And I was like, oh, amazing. Which acupuncturist, or I don't know what you call it. You know, who was it? Oh, no, it was some lady in the waiting room. I'm like, okay, amazing.
So that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So that's the beauty about this community here as well in the Barren Shire, you know, it's really powerful. We're very blessed here, very beautiful, like-minded, open-hearted, open-minded souls who really have that same vision, you know.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's powerful. It says, you know, testament to you, Soph and Amar, and everything that both of you are creating, and all the ideas and the different communities that you're working with as well, and what sort of energy field that you're just operating and wanting to ripple out to the globe. You know, it just really says so much about your souls, and it's just beautiful. So thank you very much for sharing, Han, and coming on and being by our side as well and supporting us personally. We can't thank you enough, you and Amal. So we're very excited to see Soph and Amar in just a few short weeks.
so soon. I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute honor. And I love both of you with all my heart. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you very, very, very soon for some more wild journeys. Have a beautiful afternoon.
I'll stop the live stream there. Thanks.